Sherry Kanzler with Fast Casual, and I'm at the NRA show in Chicago, and I'm chatting about self-service technology with the CEO of ZIVELO, Healey Cypher. How are you?
Howdy, good morning.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Good, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
So I want to start off with a very touchy question.
Okay.
So why do we even need kiosks anymore? We have cell phones.
It's a great question. It's an important question. If you look at the trend of technology over the last 10 years, this really interesting thing happened in 2007. Steve Jobs pulled this amazing device out of his pocket, and it changed the landscape of personal telephone and personal computing forever. And every CIO made the same bet. They said, that's it. If I want to connect with my customers digitally, I'm going to build an amazing digital app, and everyone's going to download it, and they're all going to use it, and it's going to be fantastic. And so they started building these apps. And then this pesky stat started to introduce itself, and that stat is 0. 0 is the amount of new applications the average consumer downloads a month.
Wow.
0. They got all the apps they need. Their home screen's full. They're not going to download your app. And so what CIOs are faced with now is the reality that unless you're a huge brand, like a Starbucks or a McDonald's or a Target, less than 2% of your active customer base are going to use your app, even if it's an award-winning, amazing app.
Right.
Which is tough. And so how do they connect with their customers digitally who want the same convenience and choice, who have been trained to want to touch things and make it easy? I mean, you take a 2-year-old down the TV aisle at Best Buy, what do they try to do with every TV?
Yeah.
Touch it, right? So we're finding that the business case for kiosks is tremendous. It is comparatively way easier to use in mobile phones. You know, you kind of open your phone and find an app. And I'm not saying it's a winner take all, but I think it's also an ability to upsell someone to becoming a more loyal member who then may eventually download your app. Okay. So that's what we're seeing at least.
Okay. So what about costs though? They seem kind of pricey.
Yeah. Also a really important question. Thanks for all the layups,
You're
by
welcome.
the way.
You're welcome.
So every time we sit down with a customer, we have a very pointed conversation about ROI.
Okay.
It's incredibly important to us that they're not just excited about it, it hits their IRR hurdle, but that they're really pumped about it. So here's some things we're seeing. In food, specifically in restaurants, when a consumer walks in and orders from a kiosk, they buy on average 20 to 30% more.
Wow.
And that's driven a lot by the psychology. I can kind of explore the menu. I don't feel super crammed by the line behind me saying, order quickly. I can explore and maybe be open to some upselling. So if it's really warm outside, maybe I would like that ice cold Coke. Or if it's really hot outside or really cold outside, maybe I would like the steaming mocha. And I hadn't thought about that. Peppermint mocha sounds good. So the basket lift is there. The second thing is throughput is way higher, because instead of having 2 people at the cash wrap, you're now going to have 4 or 5 kiosks that are taking orders all the time. So one of the biggest challenges we had actually was the kitchen couldn't keep up while the orders that were coming through at peak hours. Great challenge to have.
Right.
And so that's another part of it. And then one of the things we're seeing, which is really interesting because pickup is becoming a bigger thing, order in advance and pick it up, is that workflow is taking about 10 minutes in an average restaurant. When you introduce our kiosk, this is a recent thing we've done, it is going as fast as 3 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So it's literally 3 times faster throughput. All to say that the average payback for a kiosk in an urban area is 12 to 16 weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And in a suburban area is like 20 to 30. So I think the more expensive choice is actually not putting in kiosks than putting in kiosks.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's the future look like with self-service? Is it sticking around?
I think self-service is here to stay. So we work with a lot of merchants in places like Palo Alto in the Bay Area, which is a different beast, and I know that. And they call and they say, I've got a huge problem. I said, well, what's the problem? I said, I can't get people to do this job.
Yeah.
They don't want that highly repetitive, boring job of standing there. And by the way, they have to do it for 8 hours.
Right.
They'd rather work when they want on Uber or Lyft.
Yeah.
Which is a real issue. Additionally, consumers don't love that experience either. They don't love, having to tell someone to put something in the computer when they can just do it themselves.
Right.
So I believe that what we're going to start seeing is the integration of technology into stores for sure. But my hope is that it's not tech for the sake of tech. It's beautifully integrated into the existing customer journeys they already like, and it starts to advance at a pretty interesting rate. So, for example, we just announced a really big partnership with MasterCard a couple days ago.
Okay.
And we're working with them on reinventing the drive-thru. And we're doing this with Sonic, which is an amazing brand.
Right.
I grew up loving Sonic. I still love Sonic. And the way it works is you go into the drive-thru lane or the drive-in, and you can order live with an AI-powered assistant.
Oh, wow.
Really cool. and it knows your sentiment, it knows the time of day, so breakfast versus lunch, it knows if it's hot or cold outside, it knows what you've ordered recently, and it's this really exciting, I think, example of where things are headed in the future, where as long as we keep investing in technology that is in service of what the customer wants and makes your life 10 times easier and 10 times faster, that's the right direction.
Is that out yet, or are you guys just building it right now?
That is out. It's actually, if you go to the MasterCard booth at this show, you can go check it out.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
This is Shara Kanzler with FastCasual.com.